You know what? You watch movies and you see a group of people find this strange book. You just kind of wish there was somebody there to say, "No, you shouldn't have opened the book!" Hello everyone, today I'm going to go over the original Cabin in the Woods story called The Evil Dead from 1981, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Bruce Campbell as Ash. For everyone out there who knows, The Evil Dead has a mythology of its own that has a life of its own, whether it be movie sequels, comics, video games, or television. This is an independent film. This is low-budget horror done at its finest, and I just love this movie. Hell, Stephen King himself loved this movie, and with the help of him and Fangoria, we got a sequel produced by Dino De Laurentiis. But I love the gritty nature of this original film. It's totally an independent film, and it just baffles me because reportedly it was made with a $350,000 to $400,000 budget, and it looks much bigger than its budget. It's very ambitious. The way the cinematography is, the camera movements, the effects, everything is top notch in this film. And it's just low-budget horror at its finest. What more can I say? There is something about the 70s going on to the early to mid-80s that was great about the horror genre. And I haven't gone over Evil Dead on this channel. As a matter of fact, Evil Dead was one of those films that I heard about and I never saw until I was much older. And more recently, I actually saw the NC-17 version. And of course, there's two different versions you can watch with the aspect ratio. I recommend both of them. They're both are great, especially if you get the double pack special edition Blu-ray. I recently revisited the films, and I gotta say, The Evil Dead holds up, and this definitely makes the final cut. I love this movie, and it's crazy because a lot of movies spend time developing characters before the crazy shit happens, so to speak. And in this film, we jump right in. And we're introduced to this group of people who are just on a road trip. They're on their way to Jacksonville, Florida. And on the way, they find this cabin in the woods to camp at. And it's just a creepy cabin. I mean, this is the prototypical cabin in the woods story for the horror genre, that motif. And I love it. It's crazy to see this film. You can see Sam Raimi's talent long before he did the Spider-Man trilogy or Darkman. And I love it. We also get to see Bruce Campbell play a very different Ash. He's more innocent. He's not the psycho badass he is in Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness yet. And in many ways, the way the character is and the way this is filmed, it reminds me a lot of Mad Max in the way that you watch Mad Max 1, you see how low budget it was, how much they got away with that budget. You get to see how Max is compared to the sequels, and Ash has a very similar turn in that way when you watch them back to back. It definitely has that feel. But in addition to Bruce Campbell, we also have Ellen Sandwich as Cheryl, Betsy Baker as Linda, Richard DeManicore as Scott, and Teresa Tilley as Shelley. And they filmed this in Tennessee, and I love it. The locations, there's a lot of scary makeup effects. The tree scene is just one of the most scariest scenes I've seen. And as far as assault goes, it goes up there with that scene in Poltergeist. It really does. It's frightening. There's something about this film that is great in atmosphere. Sam Raimi knows how to move the camera, but the atmosphere is just so eerie, even from the beginning during the daylight scenes. And that's a very hard thing to do. And that's what really makes this film hold up, not only as a horror film, but as a film in general. And it's just crazy to see them do this low budget. Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, they all grew up in high school together, made Super 8 films. And this is like the project that leaped them on to the Hollywood system, basically. And it's kind of cool seeing them so young making this ambitious film, you know? There's something about that fearlessness of youth that makes classic films, you know, especially in the horror genre. And of course, Bruce Campbell was the nicest looking one, I guess, so he became the actor of the group. And I like the relationship with all the friends here. It's weird because you don't know much about them, but through the course of all these horrific events, you do get to learn more about the characters, the relationships they have with one another, the goals they have. And it's kind of crazy seeing an innocent group getting attacked by these demonic like demons, basically, deadites. It's the Book of the Dead. They find this book, they open it, and it's the Book of the Dead. And the cabin is just haunted, the people get possessed, and Ash has to basically kill his friends. And it's sad because, you know, everybody's not desensitized yet. this is a horrific event that's happening. It's not normal. They're trying to escape. The woods are stopping them from escaping. So there's a lot of crazy stuff there. I love the use of special effects in this film with the context, the makeup. Oh my God, that part where the person's just floating. It's just crazy. The soundtrack, the way sound is used, the way the camera moves, whether it be like a low angle, the close-ups, or go above the head. There's so many crazy cinematic shots here. And the camera itself is a character. It makes it feel like you're in for a ride from beginning to end. And it does have a shocking ending. Like the whole film is just one thrill ride from beginning to end. And like I said earlier, it makes the final cut. I give it a 4 out of 5. This is a horror film classic, and you have never seen The Evil Dead, definitely check it out because it goes on to a really amazing sequel. Army of Darkness takes a life of its own, and you have Ash versus The Evil Dead. And I was one of those people that saw Army of Darkness first, not knowing it was related to Evil Dead. I'm glad that I saw the original Evil Dead because despite its shortcomings, despite its flaws, there is some heart and passion put into this, and that goes a long way, along with the technicality put into this film. And I love it. This is just seeing a group of young filmmakers go out there and make a film, and it becomes a cult classic, basically. And yeah, as far as the shorthand tricks, you can see them use syrup and food coloring for the effects. And then also the scene where they open the book, they're supposed to be smoking marijuana, and they had to reshoot that because everybody smoked a joint and was acting erratically. And I find that funny. Anyway, those are my thoughts on The Evil Dead. If you haven't checked it out, definitely see the film. But if you have checked out the film, let me know your favorite moments from the original Evil Dead film from 1981. I love it. There's so many great moments in that film. Let me know down in the comments below. Follow me on the Stardust app at Fred Film Fanatic. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell. And stay tuned for the next final cut in which I'm going to be going over Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. Here's some more videos you can enjoy on my channel. Groovy.